Everybody, welcome to Inside Craft Show. So, pretty cool news. DJI just released some video of the DJI Spark. Pretty tiny little guy. In fact, we were fortunate enough to get one. Here, I'll show you what it looks like. There it is, DJI Spark. I kid. I'm kidding. But if you haven't seen it, here's some footage, apparently footage from the drone actually flying, and we'll kind of talk about the size of it and what we think of it. This is kind of a real-time video because this is pretty cool, almost breaking news for those of us in the nerd industry. Wow. Tiny little guy. I'm a little nervous about how it's going to deal with the wind factor. Being so small, how will it balance out in that play? Because again, it being so light, it seems like it could just float away. But the footage from it looks pretty solid. Wow, it's gorgeous just flying over New York or Jersey, wherever that is. I don't know. Somewhere that's not here. So looking at the price of it is what's kind of interesting too. So this little guy is $499. Pretty tiny. I believe it only shoots 1080p. That's true. So it only shoots 1080p. It does have a 2-axis gimbal that I guess is what's going to help it balance from the wind. That, you know, as it's flowing through, it'll stay pretty steady upon the pace. 12 megapixels, distance 1.2 miles. Who can fly that far? At least in the US, you got to have your eye on it. And this guy being so small, I don't think you're going to get very far with it. So that's not an issue, but it's just something to bring up. I mean, the higher it goes, the smaller it gets. And technically speaking, you won't be able to use it for that. But looking at it and reading about it, it seems that like it's got the quick launch feature, all this cool stuff. I do think, though, that it's going to be a really awesome consumer-based drone. I think this will be a fantastic consumer-facing drone. It'll be something awesome for vloggers or anybody that just likes to shoot content on the fly. You have this little guy in your pocket. You suddenly put it up. It's obviously smaller than the Mavic. It's going to do the same kind of thing. Up-resing 1080p isn't really an issue. Certainly if you do Premiere or After Effects, there's also some really great pay-for tools that will help you do upscaling. But we've snuck quite a bit of 1080p footage or 2K footage into a 4K upload for YouTube, and it looks fantastic. And most of the time you can't check it. In fact, so I'll post a link to the slow-mo video, and most of that stuff was 1080p. And if you look at it in 4K, it looks pretty solid. And that's just scaling up inside of After Effects without touching it whatsoever. So, you know, if you're really wanting it for professional use, I would get a professional drone with professional operators. But if you're doing it for everything else, why not? This is fascinating. Absolutely awesome. So all in all, I think the DJI Spark is a fantastic idea. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope that I have the luxury of one day getting to play with it and toy with it. I certainly think that we would use this on smaller shoots. Again, going into the same process, all of these awesome items are tools, and this is a great small tool. So now, inside my Dream Pelican case, we've got a GH5, the Lumix 12 to 60 mil lens, some batteries, a matte box, and now we can throw a drone in there that takes up even less space, which means ND filters. That means I could throw my ND filters for my GH5 in there, plus my audio kit. Pretty soon, you're going to be able to make the most epic videos in a Peli, like seriously, like that big. And it'll fly on an airline. Like it'll fit completely on an airline, carry all space. The 1510, is that right? 1510. The 1510, you can have an entire little production studio in a 1510 in a backpack. I'm in love with that. So here's the rest of that DJI Spark footage.